So as you guys know, in the next 2 or 3 years, I want to be an artist full time. And about 6 months ago, I made a video walking you through how I'm going to achieve all of that. And so much has happened since I made that video, honestly. It's really outdated now. And we've just achieved so much since then, from quadrupling the subscriber count on this channel to releasing my first digital products to becoming monetized on YouTube, and I'm just getting started. I have so much more planned for 2022, and in this video I'm gonna walk you guys through what my plans are for the new year, how I'm actually setting realistic goals for my art career, and how you can do the same. And to do this, we're going to be hopping over into my Notion. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so this is my Notion. As you can see, I'm in a business planning page in my Notion. This page is awesome. It's a version of the template that we created in that video that I mentioned earlier, but refined a little bit. There's some more detail and stuff in here, and I have it broken down into a few different chunks. So I have my About the Business, this is sort of a drop-down accordion menu, and this is just sort of a place for me to like have some details about what I'm trying to create. And over here we have the eventual goals for the business. So how much money I eventually want to make. So as you can see, I have a goal of eventually being able to make $68,000 a year, which comes down to just under $6,000 a month. And that's not like my end all be all goal. It's just a point where if I was able to reach this, when I'm able to reach this, positive mindset, I would be able to cover my expenses, have a retirement account, like be like a real adult basically. And this template will be over at my Patreon if you are a patron. Otherwise you'll have to make it yourself, but that's just how it is. So we're going to be spending most of our time in the yearly goals and tasks page over here, which is linked. And I have some overarching goals for 2022. Those goals are to create the foundation of a business that will eventually be my full-time job, or alternatively transition to this being my full-time job this year. So that is a big goal, and it can seem really impossible, honestly, but as we'll talk about more in this video, the whole sort of rationale behind this is that you break this goal down into things that you can easily achieve. So I also have the year broken down into quarters. I like to think of it in quarters. For some reason, dividing the year into 12 parts just seems so much more unmanageable to me. 4 is a nice, even, small number, and it really helps to divide the year for me in this way when we're looking at sort of the overarching planning stage. And you'll also notice that I have these quarters broken down into tasks, goals, and predictions. And there's a reason that I have that, mostly because when I'm setting goals, I like to make sure that I actually have control over the result. Setting a goal to reach 50,000 subscribers in March would be a real goal. It'd be really unrealistic, and I don't have control over that. I can control how often I post, my strategy behind YouTube, but I can't control whether or not YouTube like pushes that out to more people, whether or not YouTube recommends my content. So I don't have control over that subscriber count, and I can't even control whether or not someone subscribes. You know, like that's your choice, that's up to you. So when I think about like social media metrics and revenue metrics like this, I like to have that in like the predictions category. Predictions are more like I'll reach 50,000 subscribers in March. That's sort of a prediction that I would have. And even like rewording it as a prediction helps me to make it more like practical rather than unrealistic. Let's start setting goals. One of my big goals actually is to get more into like figurative painting and drawing. So I want to create a system for myself rather than like make a goal for an end state. So I want to put this in a task, and I want to create a system or like a habit of working on like facial anatomy and portrait drawing for maybe like a few hours a week. And that way we're creating a system rather than focusing on an end state, being like, I want to feel comfortable painting people in like 3 months, and that's probably not actually going to happen. But we can have that maybe in the 3rd quarter of the year. So feel comfortable painting and drawing people / faces. And that sort of gives us some room to get to that stage. We're not like making the time scale so rushed that we feel really unrealistic. And another thing that I want to do in the beginning of the year is to try acrylic painting. And a goal that I'm going to have is to branch out into new mediums. You see what I mean? Like sort of the goal is something a little bit more vague, a little bit more unspecific. And then for the task, we have like, okay, I'm going to try this specific thing, and that's going to help contribute to my goal. Branch out into new mediums and techniques. And then that also sort of ties back into portrait and figurative drawing, right? Like we're getting used to new stuff. And let's see, another task that I have in the beginning of the year, I think, is to make a Skillshare class. And then for predictions, I want to reach, I think I will reach 5K subscribers on YouTube. Yeah, I think that's probably right. Well, let's do 6. Let's you know, go a little out there. Let's be a little feisty. And then thinking about the second quarter of the year, what do I want to do then? It's gonna be nice here in New York City in April, May, and June, so maybe I'll do plein air painting 2 times a month. I think I want to open my online shop. And then to do that, I'll have to make products for my online shop. In January and February and March, I should launch my website. That'll help contribute to the online shop goal. And then order like shipping stuff for shop. When I plan my year, by the way, I don't really like, I don't do it like 1 quarter at a time. I sort of think about what I want the overall arc of my year to be, and so I'll sort of go back and forth, and that's what you guys are seeing me doing right now. I'm just sort of like pinballing back and forth between different quarters of the year because I do sort of like, I don't 100% know what I want 2022 to look like for me, and so I'm sort of exploring as I go here. So a goal for the first quarter of the year is to build out a new income stream. And so that would look like making a Skillshare class, for example. And then a goal that quarter, the next quarter, is to open my online shop, which would be to build out another income stream. Okay, good. That's looking fine. And then we also have this goal for the third quarter, which is to feel comfortable painting people and faces. And then a prediction that I have for quarter 2. What if we try doubling again, right? So I'll reach 12,000 subscribers on YouTube by the end of June. I also want to make, let's see, $400 a month. That's sort of a monetary based goal that I do have some control over, but at the same time, like, I only have control over the videos that I post and what their contents are and how often I post. I don't have control over like how much I charge for an ad on my video. You know, that's controlled by YouTube. So that's why I have it in the prediction category, because I don't have direct control over the outcome of that thing. So it really can't be a goal because I don't have control over like whether or not it's actually achieved. And so for me, that like wouldn't make sense for it to be a goal. So let's think about the third quarter of the year. Let's see, I wanna have maybe 2 shop updates. So update online shop at least once. That could either be a goal or a task. And sometimes these categories can feel a little bit fuzzy, and that's okay. I just think about goals as like overarching big things and then like smaller stuff over here. Let's think more about art goals here. So another thing that I really want to try is rug making, but that would be kind of wild. Maybe we'll have that in here like just like for fun. Try rug making. So as a goal, I want to add more unique products to my online shop, and then let's do design like washi tape / stationery. I think that would be really cute. Maybe we should investigate like art fairs, question mark, and like selling my stuff in person. And then for predictions, let's assume that we're gonna double again. I know that like eventually at some point, like the doubling rate can't be sustainable, you know what I mean? But let's assume that we'll get maybe 20K. That should not be a $sign. Can I type? Maybe I can't. I'm so sorry. Okay, that looks good. Let's push it a little bit. Let's say 30, just for fun. And maybe we should say like 15. I don't know. Let's do 12. Let's do 12. And then for predictions down here, by the end of December. Oh, I want to do Vlogmas again next December. I think that could be fun. Really ambitious things. Really ambitious things. Oh, let's add some more predictions. Let's see, maybe you can make $1,000 a month from AdSense. I don't know. $500 a month from Patreon. I've been adding a lot of value to my Patreon. Like, there are 4 podcast episodes up now. There are multiple podcast episodes up now. There are exclusive videos every single month. There's early access to every single new video. There's like 2 different Notion templates like these right now, though I'm planning on adding more in the future. I'm planning on adding physical rewards to my Patreon. Right, physical rewards. Physical rewards on my Patreon. Good. Add physical rewards to my Patreon. That's what I was forgetting. Okay. Yeah. Good. And then so Q3 is looking a little bit slim, you know what I mean? Like, there's not a lot going on here. What if I made a podcast public? Public interview people in our YouTube space. That could be fun. And then related to that, get co-host ? I have a few ideas of people that I would like as co-hosts, but I'm not 100% sure about it, so that's why I haven't had it as like a concrete thing, but that's why I have the question mark around it. So this is looking pretty good. The later half of the year is just looking a little bit slim just because it's hard for me to think that far in advance, so I just sort of assume that I'll like figure that out as I go along, but this is looking like a pretty good system and plan for the new year. So as you guys can see, I like to create systems rather than like have the goal be the end state, like, you know, be the next Caravaggio or something. So I like to make a habit or a system out of a goal rather than having it focused on an end result. And I think overall, I like to be really realistic about my trajectory. I like to be a little bit ambitious, but like not too ambitious, because me personally, I can get really disheartened if I have this like really unrealistic goal, this really ambitious goal set, and I don't achieve that. So I like to ground everything in like reality and consider my current trajectory when I'm making goals like this, and just really come at it from a more practical, reasonable perspective. And that's not best suited for everyone, but it works really well for me, and so that's sort of what I want to encourage you guys to do. But at the end of the day, just like do whatever works best for you. But yeah, okay, so this is looking pretty good, I think. I think I want to add a few more stuff. So maybe we'll make another Skillshare class over here. I was thinking about starting to post twice a week on YouTube again, but maybe what I should do instead is focus more, I'm at a bit of a crossroads with this, right? Because on one hand, I want to really like build out my Patreon, and I already have a lot of valuable stuff over on my Patreon, but I'm trying to think like, can I post twice a week here on YouTube and make 2 exclusive videos a month for them, or is that not going to be possible? Like, do I have to choose between one or the other? And I think I wouldn't have to if I didn't have a part-time job, but I do have a part-time job, and so that makes this more complicated. I think at the end of the day, growing my YouTube right now is more important than my Patreon, because my YouTube will eventually, like, it'll feed into my Patreon, and that's what it's doing. Hi, sorry, I had to feed the cat really quick. Okay, so I'm gonna post twice a week on YouTube, and then, let's see, if I was making this much, maybe I would be able to scale back my part-time job at that point. I think that is doable for sure. Let's maybe move rug making down over here, because that's just like a fun thing. Okay, I think this is a pretty good plan, and I hope this video was useful for you guys. And if you're interested in learning more about how to actually achieve your artistic goals and incorporate that into your content, if you are trying to build your art career, I really recommend watching this video right here, where I talk all about content strategy as it relates to trying to achieve your artistic goals, and how you can actually make more art, post more often, and achieve your goals all at once, which is kind of crazy, but it's true. It's totally doable. So that's it for me. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.